What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the #1 comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, will be reviewing Love Is Blind. This is season 2, and this is episode 6. Before I get started, for those who are new to my channel, what I do is a detailed review of reality shows, and when I say detail, meaning things that I see, I pick out, or things that I find that spark my interest, I mention them. And as the #1 commenter, I just ask of you to get down in those comments and let me know what you think, something that I might have missed, a point you want to bring up, because this channel right here is the place for the comments. Again, I'm not a YouTuber says, hey, please like the video. Please subscribe to my channel. If you rocking with J-Dub, you're a part of the Dub fam, you're going to do that anyway. But I need you in those comments because that gives me that energy that I need to put these videos out. Because for real, I feel like I could be on anybody else's channel just putting in comments, because you might have seen me on different channels or so. But let's go ahead and get into the review. With Love Is Blind, I do couple by couple because everybody's paired up. I don't do it in a particular order. And let's start with, who we going to start with? Let's go with Shake and Deep T. I don't have much on them. So Deep T, on this episode, she takes Shake to meet her family. And her family, it's a large family. She had several, one brother and all sisters. And they're very happy to meet Shake. And Deep T mother reminded her and Shake that pretty much what they're doing is an arranged marriage. And why she mentioned that, because Deep T was always such a, she wasn't a fan of arranged marriages, because that's a part of Indian people's culture to arrange marriage. So, and surprisingly, Deep T was saying like, hey, I did bring a brown boy home, someone of Indian culture, because just like Shake, she's only dated outside her race. So Shake, when he gets there, it's like a different Shake. Or I'm going to say the professional Shake. He's giving his representative off. He just comes off so respectful, so charming. He ain't talking about no bodies or squeezing butts or none of that. He's very just, it looks like a good guy. Somebody, like they say, you want to bring home. So he's doing a great job. He reminds me of that old school show way back in the day. Maybe too far for some of y'all. Leave It to Beaver. It was a character on there called Eddie Haskell. So when he comes around his friends, he always up into trouble and always trying to do something mischievous. When he get around the parents, he shines like a diamond. He's so respectful, well-mannered and all that. That's what Shake reminds me of. He just, when it's time to clean up or make a good impression, he does it. So that's why I guess another part I don't trust Shake. Not that he's supposed to show up in another way, but he hides it so well that he's like actually a scumbag. But anyway, I didn't have much on Shake and Deep, so let's move on to somebody else I didn't have much on. The next couple, we'll go with Ayana and Jared. And Ayana is visiting Jared's apartment that he lives in, and she's already, she has some insecurities, and rightfully so. They've grown because she knows that she's playing a second fiddle. She's a second choice to Mallory, who was Jared's first choice to be a fiance. And she wants to know, like, I guess what's going on. She's looking through his stuff, and then she sees like a watch holder that holds several watches, and she wanted to know, like, where did this come from? Because she had probably had a feeling that an ex gave it to her, and she was right. Jared seemed kind of nervous because I mean, imagine you have somebody, your fiance, snooping around your apartment trying to find clues, and Ayana makes a big deal about the situation where, like, oh, you're not supposed to keep that. That's your ex. She got a thing about exes, so I'm sure somebody has played her in a former life. Again, not that I'm an advocate for being friendly with ex, but that was a gift from a past relationship. I guess that was nice and he wanted to keep. I don't see anything wrong with that, but Ayana has a problem with it. And I mean, you could just see the insecurity boiling and bubbling within Ayana. I mean, she flat out asked it. She asked Jared pretty much, well, I'm in a different situation where I'm still going to school trying to get my master's and she's not established. And so maybe children shouldn't, may not be in the near future. So Ayana asked Jared, well, is that why you chose Mallory? Because she's more established and she's ready to have kids? And Jared was like stuck. And I can understand that because he was in shock. Like, I can't believe you just asked me that. Like, we supposed to be focusing on us and you talking about Mallory. So, like, I didn't think they have a chance anyway because, again, Ayana is Jared's second chance, but surely she's going to sabotage that relationship. She's going to eat it from the inside out because she's poisoning it. All she's talking about is Mallory and what Jared thought of or wanted her and all that. I mean, he need to sit down and talk to her and just let her know, like, hey, I know I made a choice before, but we feel like this is the right choice and we're only focused on each other. Well, I'm only focused on you. Mallory or anybody of my exes, they don't matter. I'm moving forward with you. He needs to reassure because more and more she's becoming unsure, uncertain with every time. So let's move on to Sal and Mallory. So Sal, he introduces Mallory to his two sisters. And, Sal, he plays like the laid back, calm guy, but to me, all his insecurities, like they scream just out loud without him saying anything. Because you have to really listen to what Sal says or how he moves. Like, Sal isn't such the good guy that he portrays to be. So while Mallory just meeting his sisters are just talking, and they're just talking about the process of Love is Blind, like how you finally date each other and through the pods and you find out that they're the ones you want to be with, but however, you may have others connections as well. And they ask ask Mallory or Sal, like, did y'all have other connections? And Mallory looks like, and Sal's like, yeah, go ahead and tell him. And she was like, well, yeah, it was this guy I had another connection with. And Sal, like, insisted that he say Jared's name. Now, that's, like, super telling. Like, he's really making a big thing. And to me, he wanted to get, like, more information or to see Mallory explain her way out of, like, why she didn't choose Jared or whatever the case may be. Like, I don't know how she sits with Sal. I know people think Sal is such a great guy, but he's super insecure. Let's say, I can't really say maybe Mallory contributed to some of those insecurities, but he's got to deal with it instead of always trying to bring it up, just like Ayana's doing. If you want it to work, that's a good way to kill a relationship. And I just see that guy, he's just a red flag. He hides a lot, in that calmness and that coolness. And as far as the meeting goes, Sal's sisters were very supportive of the relationship. They were like, just letting them know that they got their back and they are all for what they're doing. But in the confessionals, they're pretty much saying, like, we can't really say that they're ready because it's not like a normal situation, but we support them. And that's just about pretty much all they could do. So let's move on to a couple who I really don't ever want to see again. But we got Kyle, aka Demon Boy, and Shayna. So Kyle is meeting up with Shayna, and she wants to introduce him to her family. She's still playing a role. I don't know if Shayna wants to just stay on the show for exposure or she wants another chance to meet up with Doofy or something like that. But it's calculated. That's what I can say. And Kyle feels like this is a step in the right direction. He's finally meeting their parents, and so like things are going to progress. And I guess it was going normally, but to me, you can kind of read Kyle. He's like a awkward, weird kind of guy. Like, something's off. Like, he's not a good guy. So he So they're sitting down with Shayna's mother, father, and brothers, and it was going like a normal type of questionnaire. But until when they asked Kyle, was he a godly man? And I don't know if he didn't understand it or he was trying to distract and take some time. You know, he was like, no, I don't know what that is. And they was like, oh, you don't know what God is or what's going on about what happened when you die and all of that. And everybody was just looking at it like crazy because especially Shayna's mother knew that it's no way it could work. Like Shayna is in her conviction of her faith that she's going to want a man of God. And certainly a man who doesn't even believe in God, it just won't fit. And Shayna's mother said that she could really read Kyle's body language. She could tell that like they're not going to work and he's not the guy for her. But like in Kyle's mind, he believes like straight up like just being with Shayna that like the next step in their relationship is they need to move in. And Shayna's like looking at him like, what's going on? Like, I can't do this. Well, Kyle says, well, like, I can't marry you if we don't live together. And Shayna's like, we just can't get married. And Kyle is rightfully upset about it because he feels played by Shayna. Because he's saying like, well, I thought we got past this or we were working towards something better, but like you should have never said yes to me if you don't believe that we should get married or it's standing in between us. And he's right. You know, he may be godless, but he's right because Shayna was actually waiting just to see if Kyle was, you know, like Shane. If he looked like Shane, she probably could work with him and, you know, take him to Bible study or something and try to work him in her faith. But she knew once she saw Kyle, that was it. And she like I said, he was totally right. She totally played him. She dragged him through the process. And I just didn't understand that. But you know, now Shane is playing the role of like Alyssa from Married at First Sight. She's playing the victim. Like, you know, oh, I don't want to come off such like a bad person or a fraud. And pretty much after that, they go their separate ways. However, I was like, good. Well, like they broke up. They back in Chicago. I don't ever have to see them anymore. But that wasn't the end of it. Shayna came to they were having a cookout for all the pods members, whatever. But Kyle wasn't there, and she had a nerve to pull Shane aside, aka Doofy, and like she wanted to kind of clear the air or get things understood between them. But really, it was more so she was trying to like sabotage Natalie's and Shane's relationship, and really telling Natalie like, hey, if you're like they're calling it girl talk. She's like, hey, well, if you and Shane don't work out, then you know I got somebody for you. And even Doofy's like, he don't understand what's going on. Like, why would you tell her that? And then like Shayna goes into like this little tirade about like, oh, well, you know, y'all so-called relationship, y'all got a fake relationship, and it's no way that y'all could be compatible. It's pretty much laughable. You know, she pretty much saying like she's the one for him in so many words. Like she's kind of acting shy, but then she's like combative and getting defensive about their relationship. But she really took like a crazy turn with it, and she was like telling Doofy like, well, you know, we can call Natalie over here and I can confront her about it. Like, confront her about what? And you know, Shane's like, no, we don't want to do all that. Like, where's this going? But pretty much she tried to kind of pull Doofy in to let him know that like, hey, I'm the better person and you're really not happy with the person you're with, which is Natalie. So luckily Doofy didn't fall for it. He saw that like she was trying to sabotage everything and just, you know, she was just trying to mess them up, and it just made her look ugly. And then she was like playing the victim, which wasn't cool. So so going to the next thing, we can talk about Shane and Natalie. And more and more, as I said, I deem Doofy like he's a frat boy, a freshman at that, like in college. He just coming in like he is so unpolished and lacks manners and all of that. So like when they talking about the wedding plans with Natalie, he's talking about just all I need, all I'm asking is that I get to wear a tux cape, like I'm a lord or something. That's all I want. That's all I want. A tux cape. And Natalie's looking like, oh my God, like what have I got myself into? Like what's wrong with him? Like he think he playing dress up or something? And I was just blown away. Like it gets worse and worse. Like he's just like an adolescent. It looks crazy. It looks really crazy. And so Natalie takes Shane over to her place, and he just can't. He has to be himself. He's so goofy, and he got a comment about everything, talking about like she got enough toilet paper for a family of 4, and asking her, well, what's your go-to song what's your go-to song when you take a shower? I mean, like, what is that song? And she tells him it's a Katy Perry song. He's like, well, no. I mean, and she asked him, and Natalie asked Doofy what his go-to song in the shower. Like that's a question. But Doofy says, Celine Dion. I'm telling you, Celine Dion. It'll change your life. You should let me show you. Let me show you. So they talking about shower songs. So also I guess getting in the flow of how they would live their lives. So as I call Doofy, now he's AKA a frat boy. When they come to talk about finances, Natalie's very comfortable. She's like, well, hey, I'm secure. I think we should get a place together, maybe a bigger place, because my place is a little too small for both of us. And, we should really sit down and find out like what we're going to do. I really want to buy, like that's the better investment. And frat boy Shane's say, well, I need to look at my finances. And, because I don't do that. I was like, what? He don't do that? He don't look at his finance. This guy's a real estate agent. He's supposed, if he's working, he's getting lump sums of money. He don't look at his finances at all. And the way he's talking, it doesn't sound like he's in a position to purchase a home. And what was more alarming, again, AKA Doofy, AKA frat boy, he spends over $2,000 per month on food. Now, just throw a number in the air. That's roughly $75 a day eating. So that means he eats out every single day on every single meal. I mean, that is like absurd. That's somebody's rent or mortgage, but in food. That's what he was talking about. Sometimes I like a midnight snack. That's what I mean. He eats all day, all night, just like a teenager. And I mean, I was shocked, and then it just got worse after that. He was just like, Natalie was more so like, as far as we plan our future, we gotta like invest and have our 401ks. Frat boy say, I don't believe in 401ks. I take risk in life. I don't even know what that means, but he takes risk in life. So he's saying we can't live our lives, investing in our 401k and purchasing homes. And Natalie's looking like, what? Like everybody in the whole world look like, what? That don't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. But Natalie in her confession says like, hey, I'm really not alarmed. So Natalie must got that money. So whatever he's talking about, that's what I like about him. He lives differently from me. And sometimes I wish I could live out like that, out of control. But those aren't characteristics you want in a husband and you're trying to plan a future with. Like, he's not even, let's just say he's not financially savvy, but he's not even trying or don't even seem open to that. And he's talking ridiculous. He's talking like a teenager. So good luck to that, Natalie. I guess she just want to be married. She's not alarmed at all. I am, and she should be. So, but we also learned that Natalie said that her mother is also the breadwinner of her family, and her father, I guess he kind of lays back or whatever he does. So it really isn't a thing for her. So now, as far as Natalie, you can see that Shane engaging with Shayna, it really bothers her because she should be, because it is kind of odd that Shayna would call her and say like, well, if y'all going through something, then I got somebody, I can hook you up with somebody. So yeah, she gotta watch out, because I might start calling Shayna a demon girl, like her fiance or former fiance. So let's go to, do we want to do Danielle or Nick, or oh yeah, I think that's the last one. Let's go, yeah, let's just close it out with Danielle and Nick. Now, I got a whole lot of notes on these people. So we get to any scene. I'm gonna start like all the scenes out. We get to scene. Let's find out what Danielle's worried about now. What isn't she ever worried? And she's worried that like hasn't seen a positive example of marriage, so she's concerned that she won't be able to be a good wife, or can they have a healthy relationship. And she's also worried about she's not going to be ready for marriage in 2 weeks. And I don't know what to say. That's too much for anyone. Like, Danielle needs like a 24-hour nurse or something, or a hotline. I mean, it's just crazy that like what Nick is putting up with. Because I'm gonna stop looking at Danielle. I'm gonna have to start looking at Nick, because there's no way that makes sense. But okay, we still going along, because Nick's going along. Nick, he's going to meet Danielle's family for the first time. And her family lives in a little modest, look like a little trailer home. But what I like about it is right on the water. Like, they can go down to the end of the hill and they can fish and pull up a boat or whatever. I like stuff like that. I like being around water. So, I think I could live in one of those little trailer homes. If I could live right there on the water like that. I like that. But her family, they're very welcoming, and they like the dog too. So the dog is comfortable, Nick's dog, and they even took Nick fishing, and they just trying to make him like feel welcome and part of the family. And I can tell right off the break, like, Danielle's mother, she has a real over the top personality. And I can see that why she's so anxious. I believe her mother contributes to that. Her mother seems like real critical. Her mother even seems like she drinks a little bit. But I can see, it kind of makes more sense now. So Danielle's mom, she confirms that Danielle is like a self-sabotager, because she's one as well. Because I know Nick understands that that's exactly what's happened. And, it kind of gets weirder like in a family conversation, because they like feel comfortable. And Danielle's little brother asked him like, well, how sexually active are you guys? And everybody's like, what? Like, you asking that question? Are you asking that question? So I get it. It's all out of control. So, as far as Danielle, we gotta, every scene you see her, you have to understand like she's going to have a worry. We gotta go again. What is Danielle worried about now? So now, after meeting the family, it seemed to go well. Everything, everybody liked each other. Everybody's good. But now Danielle's concerned that Nick isn't like being a part of this engagement or going towards marriage for the right reasons. Like, she felt Nick should have been more excited about the situation and meeting their families, and that she thought he was like fake because he was seemed to be more concerned about what was going on with his family and friends. And she actually even called this man a narcissist. I don't even know how Danielle can open her mouth to diagnose anyone about anything that's dealing with mental health. I don't get that. And they get going back and forth and getting loud and all that. And Nick, dude, I don't know if it's just Nick's disposition, because almost at this point I can't blame him. He seems like he has an anger problem himself, because he kind of pops off. But Danielle would drive anyone crazy if you ain't already crazy, you talk to Danielle enough, she gonna make you crazy. And crazy enough, I'm gonna start calling Nick is Crazy Nick for staying with Danielle. He's actually apologizing for bringing up his, I guess, situation he's got going on with his family and friends on the day of that Danielle wanted to talk about how excited she was for him to meet her family. And like, I mean, I get he's trying to make the peace, but he's creating a horrible cycle because not only that Danielle worries, she'll actually flip this situation on you when she's doubting herself. She's going to project her fears and insecurity and anger right onto you. She'll lash out and feel comfortable and make you think you did something wrong. And, you know, Nick just wants to smooth it over. And like Danielle she still doesn't take like accountability. You know, she might say, I didn't want to act that way, or you made me act that way, but they're going round and round and round and round again. So it's just like a makeup to breakup thing. Everything's all right for a minute, and then, you know, it ain't no more. So going to the Pause cookout with Shayna. When Shayna first got there, the first person or the next person she went to is Messy Nick, because he's always involved in the gossip. To me, he needs to pay more attention to his engagement and manage Danielle's mental health. I don't know what's going on, but Shayna gets to telling Nick everything, because I probably believe in the Pause they didn't probably go on dates or talk about the person. They probably just start gossiping about what's the 411 on who and all that. I mean, Nick probably was telling what's going on with Shane and whoever else she wanted to know, like inside the men's lounge. And Nick was pretty much still breaking down. He always has a take on if somebody's going to make it. And he was like co-signing with Shayna, more so like it really doesn't seem like Shane and Natalie has a connection or whatever, but he's saying really he's there for the mess, and he wants to see Shayna confront Doofy about his relationship with Natalie. So, I tell you, that it's just like it's so much confusion going on, so much negativity going on. Like, I gotta take it for the entertainment value, because this ain't really the How Love Is Blind go. People usually focused on getting to know their mate or working through all of that. This is like drama filled, but we're going to be here for the drama. So as I said, I'm going to keep pushing these videos out as quick as I can for y'all. I'm gonna put number 7 right behind this. But as you know, I got to also get into Wednesday night. Wednesday night is, you know, Married at First Sight. But I'm doing this for y'all. So as I say, y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it. Number 7 coming right behind this one.